This is it, folks. After well over 2 years and countless videos, it's time for me to split. This channel may well see new videos in the future, but it's no longer going to be a job, and there's no guarantee that any future video will be about anime. I truly appreciate the support and fan base I've gained over these years, so I feel like I owe y'all an explanation of why I'm retiring from this and what I'll be doing from here onwards. Just recently, I finished reading one of my favorite manga, Konjiki no Gash, better known in the West as Zatch Bell. I loved watching that show on Toonami after school when I was in 1st and 2nd grade. You're not allowed to make fun of my age for this, by the way. And I've read the manga twice now and liked it more each time. It's one of the best battle shonen manga in my extremely underread opinion. And while the early comedy is sometimes overbearing, it eventually rounds out into one of the most exciting and emotional manga I've ever read. Unfortunately, though, I can't make a video on it. Of course, I can physically do so, though editing manga has never been a fun pastime. But as long as YouTube is a job to me, it's just not in the cards. When I started making YouTube videos, my blog was getting mediocre views at the best of times. I switched platforms to get more views, to get more money, and to make myself a better writer so that those first two things would actually happen. All three of those goals are, as of a while ago, totally accomplished. Hundreds of thousands of people have heard my takes at this point. I'm a far better writer than I was 3 years ago, though I've still got a long journey ahead of me, and it served as a part-time job these last few years. I've even made some videos that I really care about, which others have found worthwhile as well, and that's legitimately meaningful to me. But I've lost the ability to put my opinion out there on this platform without any qualms about doing so. This platform is not a fun one to inhabit long term, and more than anything else, it's that which is pushing me away. What do I mean exactly? Well, it's encapsulated in a pair of videos I've released, that being my video on Furikuri and my video on Liz and the Bluebird. In straightforward terms, these aren't my most hated videos or anything. However, the criticism they've received has been that they're bad videos because they're poor criticism. This is true. They are poor criticism because criticism is not their genre, but instead something closer to memoir. These videos are at best op-eds, a way of grounding and explaining my negative experiences with specific works without criticizing them in a normative way. Unfortunately, however, the criticism these videos have received has been that they should not even exist. In itself, this wouldn't deter me. I can accept that some people simply won't like some videos, might even fundamentally misunderstand why they're made as they are. I won't like it, but I will accept it. However, anime YouTube is a generally poor environment. It's filled with unnecessary combativeness and attempts at one-upmanship, where critics exist whose only critical training is watching other YouTube critics who watched other YouTube critics. I'm guilty of all of this, of course, and I'm no saint. However, after a while, I just couldn't keep myself invested anymore. All the assholes on this platform made it clear that it's simply not a space I want to work in. It's not criticism per se that upset me, but the way it's fundamentally conveyed on the internet. If I were to publish books, how people talk about me would be something I could ignore. But on YouTube, where the content and the reception meld near seamlessly into one another, I can't create that distance. As a result, it was only inevitable that I'd eventually fall away. Of course, that's not the only reason I'm quitting YouTube. These factors contributed to my no longer enjoying this environment, but there are others as well. I can't stand video editing anymore, and I certainly don't make enough on here to justify paying another editor to work on my videos. Even if I could though, I probably wouldn't do it, because I really just don't care about being an anime critic anymore. I still like anime, but it's not the central form of entertainment or art in my life in the way it was for so many years. And being an anime critic requires watching a volume of anime that I simply don't wish to consume. I've come to watch plenty of cinema and an increasing number of Western TV shows. I want to spend time with my fiance and friends, to begin attending church when the world opens up again, to actually get directly involved in political organizing after only flirting with the idea in the past, and to devote energy to my other hobbies like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Melee. The form of writing I most enjoy right now is novel writing, and while I have no clue whether or not I'll ever sign for the book I've written, I'm going to keep writing more until I do. Anime and manga, as much as I still enjoy them, just can't be something that I devote all my critical attention to, and I'm a happier person for that. So, what does this mean for all of you? Well, like I said, the channel won't be deleted or anything, and I may well upload videos here in the future. However, those videos will be whatever I want them to be, rather than something made to appeal to the audience I've built up. Now that I'm free of monetary incentive, it really will just be a video version of my blog. Most of my future writing, aside from my novels, will be posted on said blog, by the way, and I see it becoming a greater part of my online presence again. As I said, I hate editing, so only works which I really think need to exist in video form will. Don't unsubscribe if you're interested at all, but don't expect anything on here anytime soon, if ever. Now, to address my patrons, what does this mean for all of you? Well, if all you're interested in is helping me to make semi-regular YouTube videos, then you should probably unsub. I truly thank you for your support over the years, and obviously don't begrudge you for leaving. That said, I will be maintaining my Patreon in a thoroughly reworked fashion. First, if I maintain some sufficient number of patrons, I'd like to allow y'all to pick some movies for me to watch and maybe even books. I say if there's a sufficient number because even at my peak, the polls I held for what anime to make videos about got vanishingly few votes, but it's certainly something I'd like to maintain. If you continue to patron me, it'll be as a way of fostering my general presence as an online creator while I work towards a greater level of success. That is to say, I'll write novels until I get published one way or another, but it'll be easier if I'm making a bit of money to support that. I'd love to get input from those interested in staying as to what you'd like to see on my revised Patreon. This is a new chapter in how I'm presenting myself online, but I don't want to disappear altogether. So that's it then. Everything in the future is contingent and subject to change, but I'm serious in marking this as the end to the Zeria channel as you've known it until now. In spite of the negative feelings which have pushed me in this direction, I still have a fondness for what I've accomplished here. Videos like the one on Lane, the Ikuhara project, and the Miyazaki project are all important to me. All I can say now is thank you once more for the support over these last few years. It really has meant a lot.